A real man is ... Open to interpretation. Open to debate. Not clearly defined. Not universally accepted. Not universally agreed upon. You'll know it when you see it. Affected by your culture, and your wounds, and your needs, and what was modeled for you, and where you grew up in the world, and 1,000 other things. There's no such animal as a real man. A true man. Because you're talking about concept. You're talking about an experience. You're talking about a waveform. Is it particle? Is it wave? It's both. So there are qualities, there are characteristics, there are capacities and capabilities available within every male person. But being male does not make you a man. The pokey-out parts of your body does not automatically bequeath upon you the status of man, right? Man is like stages. There's like layers to the game, right? So you could be a guy, you could be a boy. When you think man, are you thinking of someone who is easily swayed by public opinion and at the same time he's not like obstinate and bullheaded and I'm right, F the world and my way or the highway, right? That's a boy. It's a boy or it's a guy, right? The guy is stuck in his ways, the boy is malleable, shiftable, slippery. With a man, there's a sense of boundaries, a sense of lines, a sense of what's fair and what's not, what's in bounds, what's out of bounds, what's allowed and what's not. A man has a certain level of integrity about who he is and how he lives and what he says and the impact and the import of what he says and does on himself and others. He's thinking of legacy. So what it takes to make a real man, it's a recipe. And every guy is going to arrive at what a real man is for himself at some point in his life. And that's his take, right? We talk about this in martial arts, and if you guys don't know, I've got 27 years in Kung Fu, among other things. Multiple certifications, high-level participation, training all over the place. Really dedicated my life for decades and decades and decades. But there's only one human system, because there's one human species, but there's infinite human styles because everybody has their own take, right? Like Yip Man Wing Chun, right? We're connected to that system and that family. Yip Man Wing Chun ended when he passed away because that expression of art stopped. He was the pinnacle of his own system. Anybody else, they're now expressing their own interpretation of his experience through their filters and their personality and their likes and their dislikes. Style is subjective, style is personal. So to be a man, to have that impact on the world and to be solid and irresolute but not closed-minded and closed off, those are qualities and capabilities and capacities. You know it when you see it. You know it when you experience it, and it is amazing. But it's not something we can just, I'm going to hand this to you and, well, here's your man card, now you're a man, go get it, son. That's not how it works. Right? There's no, well, can a man kill and butcher an animal? Maybe. Can a man stop violence from happening around him? Maybe. Can a man perpetuate violence and cause more violence? Maybe. Right? Because it really comes to that particular person defining for themselves who and what they are. And this is the delicate balance, right? This is where, if you guys know the 5 levels of growth, there's F this, and you're in the shiz, and you're in the trouble, and you're in the problem, and F this and F that, because you're stuck. And then step 2, F that. You're out of it, but everything you're doing is to not go back to that. So you're still focused on what you don't want. Don't run. I'm not running, but I don't want to run. Don't be toxic, but I don't want to be toxic. And so this level 2, there's a lot of control, there's a lot of dominance, a lot of fear, a lot of scarcity, a lot of focusing on the things we don't want and putting checks and balances in place so that we don't fall back into that, right? And I evidence that you could use somebody like David Goggins, right, who, fantastic, done a lot of work, done a lot of growth, when he was massively overweight, living with the abuse of his father and all those sorts of things. That's an F that experience. But then he's out of it, F this, but he still uses language patterns driven to not be that. Don't be a bitch. don't be soft, don't be a pussy. I mean, he's using all this derogatory language. I would never want my kids to talk to themselves like that as a way to motivate themselves to perform better. But in the context of he doesn't want to fall into that, F that, F this, right? I don't want to fall into this. I want to stay F that. I'm out of it. So he wants to stay there. That's fine. That's where he's at. But then to say that's the pinnacle of masculinity, no, because to me, I hear a wound in there. I hear unresolved things he's still trying to stay away from. So this level 3 really is that there. And you see a higher, broader perspective or a deeper understanding, but you see a more compelling future this way. It's no longer running from the fear and running from the things that scare me. It's I feel called, I feel pulled, I feel drawn to this other way of living and loving. And that there, I see what's possible. And when you're in F this, you're a ball of snot and tears, you're fetal, sucking on your thumb, just getting out of it, that's the compelling future, full stop. And once you're there, I'm not in it, I'm one step out, F that. I'm out of that. But again, the focus is that. This is an entirely new way of living. That stuff starts to just fade because that's no longer part of your identity. If you're saying, hi, I'm Jeremy, I'm an alcoholic, then I'm still focused on F that. Hi, I'm Jeremy. I used to have a problem with alcohol because I allowed my life and my pressures to get ahead of me, and I used that as a tool for about a year and a half, almost 2 years, drinking wine, 4 to 5 bottles, a bottle of wine 4 to 5 nights a week so I could sleep and just numb myself out. I don't live in that place anymore, and I have different strategies so that I'm not in that emotion. So I'm no longer connected to these two, I'm connected to these 3. And 3 is that there. You have to see that it's possible. Step 4, this here, now you're actually in a better place. And you feel better, but it's not sustainable. It's not your identity. That's number 5. It is, I am. That level, you've arrived, and you are solid. And that's like, I'm a man. Not, I need your permission to be a man. Or you're not a man the way that I think you should be a man. Or, to quote the Rolling Stones, he can't be a man because he doesn't smoke the same smokes as me. If you need somebody to do the thing you do for them to be the thing, it's like, then, nah, we're somewhere else in the continuum. Because when you own yourself, you get it. And you don't need anyone's permission or validation. At the same time, you don't make people wrong for where they are on their journey because you get it, because you've been through those other stages. But that stage 4, we call that state. I get to that place, it feels good. Right? People go to church every week. But are they being Christ to each other during the weekdays? Are they lying and robbing and thieving and vanity and judgment and all the things the Bible exhorts you not to do? So then they got to go to church on Sunday and apologize, and then they go right back into the same crap the rest of the week. But, I'm living a goodly life, but we all sin, brother. No. Not, not intentionally, no. Like, Grandmaster Junri used to say, I am only unknowingly imperfect, right? Because it's the idea I never intentionally mess up. I never intentionally miss the mark. It was an accident. It was an area that I blind spot. And then we improve so we don't go back into that crap, right? So where am I? Where do I want to be? What's next? So it's really that state 4, getting in an environment, getting in a community, getting into fellowship and brotherhood with others. That's what's going to help you move forward further, faster. That's what's going to help draw you to that better place. And so that's why we need fellowship. We need community. Right? It's not, I'm an army of one. You need logistic support. It's helpful. Overwatch, helpful. Radar, helpful. Air cover, helpful. But no, I'm an army of one. It's like the song, oh God, who's the band? I can hear the song playing in my head. I can't remember the band right this second. But there's the song, I walk the lonely streets, I walk alone. I'm like, but you're in a band with 2 other guys. Billy, come on, you got buddies with you. It's not, I walk alone, I walk these empty streets on the boulevard of broken dreams. But you got your bandmates, dude. You're not alone. So don't play that. You might feel alone. We've all been there. We've all had that. But the truth is, especially with social media, you've got support. You're only as alone as you choose to be because there's somebody available literally around the planet 24/7. Somebody could be available to talk to. And if you're in the U.S., 988. It's a powerful number if you're struggling. If your head and your heart are having bad conversations and you're thinking of bad stuff, 988. Call that number. Get the support. You don't have to go alone unless you choose. But I don't deserve to be helped. Okay, well then just accept it as a gift. Because if you deserve it, it's not a gift. It's payment. So just take it as a gift. right? You never deserve a gift. You always say thank you, and you accept the gift. So I got something for you, though. If you guys are struggling and you don't want to keep repeating the loop, you want to get out of F this and F that, and you're tired of that conversation, I have a strategy for you. I have a program for you. That's why I'm doing these lives. 10 divorced dads a day end their lives. 10 men a day die. Every time you see me go live, somewhere, some father, some ex-husband, some man has decided that the rejection of the world is more valuable to him, more meaningful to him than his own innate sense of purpose and sense of direction and sense of mission. And so he takes a permanent L, he takes a permanent loss, and exits life. And it doesn't have to be that way. It really doesn't. I wish I could sit down with every guy that's struggling and just connect with him and be like, dude, let's make good choices. Let's figure out other strategies. This is a season. This is not where it has to end. In Chinese culture, they talk about when you shuffle off this mortal coil and go the other side, whatever your nature, whatever your energy is, becomes 10 times more powerful. The body slows us down. The problem is also, once you cross over the veil between life and death, you can't choose what happens next. You're filled with love and light, that gets amplified by 10. You're filled with misery and pain, that gets amplified by 10. And now you've got consequences to deal with. It's like sitting on the edge of a bridge, and there was a guy and he's struggling, and all he's doing is reliving all the pain, all the misery, all the mistakes, all the damage, and he just can't forgive himself. He throws himself off the bridge, and about a foot later he realizes everything he chose, everything, there was a choice involved, everything was recoverable in some way, shape, or form, except the last decision he made, which is to jump off the bridge. There's no way to stop that, because now the laws of physics and gravity take over. And so if we can walk men back from that edge, that's why I'm doing 40 freaking pieces of content. I think it's really cool. I don't know anybody else who's done 40 lives in 4 days, 10 minutes, spontaneous, extemporaneous, no notes, my hands are visible, I'm just riffing stuff. I don't know anybody who's done anything like that. And to me, that seems noteworthy. Like, people should share and tag in and things like that, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just a fool who believes too much in the good of the world, and no, people aren't really going to share this. They're not really going to get involved or be curious or watch it happen. I don't know. So, Hakeem, thanks for dialing in for a sec. I know you were here, and I know people have their lives, and I know they have responsibilities and things they got to get done. I get it. So I'm not taking it personal. At the same time, it does hurt my heart that it's like, there's people that say, yeah, this is great, cool. Could you share it? Could you tag somebody in that you think could use some support? Could you comment on how this is serving you or how it's landing for you? Because that helps me. But it doesn't just help me. It helps other men who are struggling. Because when you normalize, right now it's just me pushing. I'm talking to you guys. But when the rest of you are commenting, when you're saying, yeah, that makes sense, you're doing the hearts and the likes, and you're saying, I felt that way, the more you do that stuff, then the more powerful this becomes, because knowing that you're not the only person with these thoughts in your head, these feelings in your heart, it's like, oh, dude, with you. I feel that. I understand that. That's the beauty of social media, is we're not alone. All of us have pain. All of us have things we struggle with. And if we knew that and used social media to bridge and connect to each other, the world becomes a brighter place. We could have a bonfire of positive energy lighting the world up. And when someone's struggling, 2, 3, 4, 10 people comment and say, hey, I got you. Let's talk. Let's have a conversation. Let's connect. How cool would that be? It's only just our decisions. We're one decision away from doing that. It costs you nothing to leave a comment. It costs you nothing to share. That's why I'm pushing this out, is genuinely to connect and to serve. This isn't me wanting to grandstand or show off or anything like that. I see the pain, and I know how many men end themselves. And it doesn't have to be that way. So I'm asking you, as you're watching, please, how is this serving you? What does this mean to you? Share this. Expand this. This is the only way we grow. What stays within inside us dies with us. What we give to the world, we get to keep. Because when we give it, we get to experience it. It does you no good to love someone and not tell them, not show them, not let them feel the full weight of your love. I don't want to be a bother. I don't want to be a headache. I don't want to... Stop making it about yourself. Maybe they need to know they're wanted. Maybe they need to know every night. When I put my daughter to bed, when I put my stepson to bed, when he's here, hey, thanks for today. You're awesome. I love you. Every day we want to remind them, you're a gift. I appreciate you being here. And there's nothing you can do that's going to make me stop loving you. My door is always open. My kids, when they ask us a question, my wife and I are both like, yeah, absolutely. Ask us anything. We always say that. Why? Because we want to normalize asking questions. We want to normalize for them, please reach out. I'm also trying to raise awareness. Men, stay alive. The world needs you. Dads, stay alive. Your children need you. Even if your ex is keeping them away from you, even if. I don't know when, I don't know how, but at some point your lives can come back together if you're still alive. But if you take the exit, there's no change. There's no healing you can be a part of. So I encourage you, whatever you're going through, F this, F that, cool. There are 3 other levels you could live at. And you don't have to deserve it. You just have to accept it. Again, a gift, you just say thank you, and you run with it. And maybe this program isn't for you. Maybe you would like to gift it to someone else. That's okay too. Say, hey guys, I got 2 scholarships available. First one in, you get it. Like, that's cool. We can make that happen. I'm here to serve. I'm here to create win-win. I see the pain, I see the suffering, and I know it doesn't have to be there. So if this is serving you, please like it, share it, comment on it. I'm going to go live probably about another half hour because I'm a little bit behind today. But this is number 4. So number 14 out of 40. Still got 6 more today. 16 minutes, another hour of content. Like, I love this stuff. It energizes me. So if you have a question, you have a concern, you have something you're like, hey, could you talk about this? Abso-freaking-lutely, let me know. Hakeem, Jeremy, Christian, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm about to pop off because I'm trying to keep these less than 15 minutes because I'm putting these over on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn has to be less than 15 minutes. And then once we get the thumbnails, we're going to put these on YouTube, and there's going to be a list for YouTube. Obviously, when the sale's over, but we'll maybe have something available. I don't know what yet. But I'm just, guys, stop suffering. Easier said than done. And that's why I have coaching and why I have programs and why I'm doing content, is to help reduce the suffering, create more understanding, more love, more peace, more, that's what that is. That's not me. Oh, okay, cool. All right, guys, you make it a fantastic day.